This is PharmaForum web editor Nicole Raleigh, and I am on site in Lisbon, Portugal for Bio Europe Spring 2026. And with me today is Robert Jacks, who is CEO of Sparrow Pharmaceuticals. Pleasure to speak with you, Robert.
Thank you for speaking with me.
So Sparrow Pharmaceuticals is a targeted cardiometabolic therapeutics company, delivering improved outcomes for patients who struggle to control diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and related conditions with current therapies. So, Robert, we're speaking, needless to say, early on, i.e., the start of Bio Europe Spring, but I was wondering, there is an energy here. So, for you, what's that energy like? What do you think the conference is hoping to promote, and what is Sparrow hoping to get from Bio?
As you said, it's early on in this conference. I think that in general, there's a lot of enthusiasm in the industry right now. It's been a long, cold winter the last few years for investment capital and returns on that capital. But I think people are very optimistic that's turning around. And so I think conferences like this, people are really excited to make new connections and connect with investors who have money to put to work. And hopefully we're in for a good long run now in biotech.
Yes, that optimistic excitement ever comes across at these conferences. Now, if we turn to Sparrow in particular, Sparrow's lead candidate, clofutriben, have I said that correctly?
Very good.
Is a once daily oral HSD1 inhibitor that downregulates local cortisol production in metabolically active tissues, a common underlying cause of disease progression and treatment resistance in many cardiometabolic diseases. So, Robert, I was wondering if you could tell us more about this and more about targeted therapeutics generally for type 2 diabetes and other CRM conditions.
Sure. So there's been incredible progress in particularly diabetes and obesity recently with GLP-1 agonists. Everyone's talking about them. But the truth is that they don't work well for everybody. And for instance, in type 2 diabetes, about half of people remain inadequately controlled in diabetes despite the availability of these agents. And so I think what we're doing, a lot of people are doing, is looking past the current agents and even the ones that are on the near-term horizon and saying, what are we going to do for the remaining unmet medical needs? And specifically, if we can identify why some patients don't respond well to these agents and then target those underlying causes, I think that can really advance medicine. And that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you. So can you explain for viewers the effect of elevated cortisol as an underlying mechanism for metabolic dysfunction?
Yeah, so cortisol is a critical hormone that your body produces, and it's involved in a lot of functions in your body, from glucose metabolism to regulation of blood pressure to mood, memory, and sleep to muscle and fat metabolism. And so unfortunately, when you have too much cortisol, when your body makes too much cortisol, all of those things can go wrong. And so when you have excess cortisol production, you can have broad metabolic dysfunction that leads to a lot of those conditions. It can exacerbate or cause diabetes. It can exacerbate or cause high blood pressure. It can cause weight gain. So all of those things can be exacerbated by excess cortisol. And as it turns out, a lot of people who are having trouble controlling their disease with current agents, their body is making excess cortisol that's making it difficult for them to control their disease with current agents. And so we're able to specifically identify those people and then treat them with an agent that can actually help them.
Brilliant. So if we move over to the numbers now, Sparrow announced a $95 million Series B financing to support the progression of clofutriben through phase 2B and other activities to make clofutriben phase 3 ready. So it's a rare round today, as many biotechs, as you said earlier, are struggling to gain enough runway, so to speak, to provide data or even justification for a second round. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, even particularly a year ago, it was even more difficult than it is today, for sure. And I think that what enabled us to raise that money is there were a couple of characteristics for opportunity. First, I think we had a really big market opportunity. So as we talk about the diabetes market, the obesity market, you can be able to go into hypertension. I talked about all the different consequences of having excess cortisol, those are some really big markets. And so I think that was the first thing. The second thing is that our asset is quite de-risked. So we already have phase 2 data demonstrating that our drug can have an effect in all those different aspects of metabolic disease. And so I think when you bring those two things together, it was very attractive, particularly in an environment that was more difficult to raise money. Today, hopefully, people will be broadly successful, but I think those are the elements that enabled us to raise the money.
The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Yeah. So, when it comes to the CRM space, we've been talking about trends, but did you want to talk any more to those trends, Robert, within the CRM space as pertains to innovation, treatments to come, navigation of financing going forward from this better spot right now?
Yeah, I think that the space had fallen out of favor for a while. It felt like these were kind of well-satisfied markets, people so thought. And there was a lot of interest in, say, rare diseases, and people were looking at small populations. That seems to have shifted for a variety of reasons. Partially, I think, because of the success of agents like Ozempic, where people saw, oh, there is still a huge unmet need. There still is an opportunity to have really successful products in that space. And it's brought people back. And then the focus is, well, either we're going to develop the 1,000th GLP-1 agonist and try to say we have 2% less nausea or 2% more weight gain, or we're going to look past that. And we're looking past that and saying there's a world where everyone's going to be on a GLP-1 agonist, and yet there's remaining unmet medical need. And what do we do about those patients? And I think that's where a lot of the smart money is also looking, is what's next.
A world of everyone on a GLP-1 agonist.
That's the world we're looking at.
Okay, so I have a final question. What of the future after bio, after 2026? Is it that world to come you've just spoken of?
I think so. I mean, I think the alternative is we just keep adding agents on top, and hoping that they work. And I think it's a better approach to try and identify, well, why isn't this patient responding? Because these are very potent agents. And so if someone's not responding, there's probably an underlying reason why. And if we can identify that and target that, I think that's really attractive, not just for patients, but also for payers, prescribers, who feel like they're really addressing the underlying problem.
Absolutely. Positive thought to end on. Thank you very much for your time today, Robert. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.